Nice, quickly, and we're starting in 10 seconds. Well, that's fine, okay. And just put your phones on silent for me so that we don't broadcast your ring around the country this afternoon. Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming through this evening, and thanks to all of you who've tuned in live. I've just heard we've got people from around the country watching tonight. Plet, Nelspruit, and even some in the Netherlands. So it's fantastic to be able to use a piece of technology like this that takes us around the world simultaneously every day of the week, Tuesday through Saturdays. It's absolutely awesome. It gives us the opportunity as well to do at a multiple level, at a leverage level, what we're going to be talking about here tonight at DuePoint. So to start with, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you that DuePoint is a division of Constantia Insurance Company Limited. This is not something new. We're an insurance company that's been around since 1952. We are 68 years old this year. In addition, we're a public company. We are listed on the JSE. You can see everything you need to know about us online. And we are licensed as a life, short, and medical insurance company in South Africa by no less than 8 regulators. So you are dealing with something that is very homegrown South African, and you're dealing with something that we believe you can trust in. It's not here today, gone tomorrow. It's not one of those things that's blown in from overseas. It's a homegrown, long-standing insurance company in the South African context. Folks, about 5 years ago, we started conceptualizing DuePoint as Constantia, and we started tackling, or we wanted to start tackling, problems we identified in the South African economy today. I was meeting with the team a little bit before this afternoon, and it reminded me again of the reasons why we do DuePoint. Right now as South Africans, even back in 2015, but really definitely right now as South Africans, we do not own our own country anymore. We do not have control over our income. We do not have control over our expenditure. We live in an economy where someone else is telling us how much we can earn. We live in an economy where someone else tells us how expensive things are going to be. We just heard that the petrol price is going back up again. Heard again that today there's going to be load shedding again when we've just got over another lot. We have seen inflation rise from 6% in the early 2000s to close to 23%. I know that they keep telling us that it's 6%, but you know it's not 6% because you go to the shops. You're paying for the petrol. We understand now it's about 280 Rand in tax for every petrol tank that we fill. 280 bucks? I remember when it used to cost me 280 bucks to fill my tank. Now I'm paying that in tax every time I fill my tank. And what that means is that even if you don't own a car, if you're coming on public transport, it means that you're paying for those taxes through your fares on your public transport. And it means that our clothes are getting more expensive. Our food is getting more expensive. Everything is getting more expensive, and yet we are not earning more. As South Africans, did you get a 23% raise last year? Did you get a bonus big enough to cover the increases in costs? Has the economy started turning so that we're making more sales, earning more commission, just moving forward? No. When I say we've lost our country as the citizens on the ground. We've lost it. And we were already building on this solution 5 years ago. Guys, I'm going to remind you again, we are broadcasting across South Africa right now. Can you please put your phones on silent for me? Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, 5 years ago, we said we've got to start tackling these problems. We've got to start winning our country back. Even if South Africans have not yet realized they have lost control, we need to put them back in a position where they can gain the control they didn't know they had lost. And we formulated for ourselves a system we call the DuePoint system. The DuePoint system was designed to allow you as individuals to contract with us as wealth engineers, people who would be out there engineering a new wealth for themselves. As wealth engineers, we ask them to do just one thing. We do not ask you to sell. We do not ask you to market or advertise or carry stock around or do presentations. We don't ask you to do any of that. That's all 1990s, 20th century stuff. We're in the 21st century. What we ask you to do as wealth engineers is to use our technology to connect the 57 million South Africans that need to pick up a tool that will allow them to take back control of their personal economies. By connecting individuals to us, you allow us a greater platform of distribution, allowing us to go out and facilitate the purchase of our products, create revenue, and from that revenue, we're then able to create controlled wealth for you through a recurring extra income. Now, there's a very big difference between recurring income and the stuff you've heard about before. And all the stuff that you've done before, you've had to sell something. It's been a pot, a pan, a toiletry, an energy drink, pills, plastic buckies, whatever it was, you had to sell something, pots and pans. When you sold them, you got money for the sale. It didn't matter what network you were in or whatever, it was on transaction that you got money. Now the problem with that, I call that cash in transit. It is money that arrives and then is gone. If you do not sell again the next month, if your friends do not pay again the next month, there's no money for you. And as a result, no matter how much money you got in that once-off transaction, it's gone and has not changed your circumstance into the future. We wanted to create wealth. Wealth is an income that comes in every month, whether you're able to work or not, whether you're on holiday or sick in hospital, whatever your circumstances are, we wanted that income to come in on a recurring, reliable, steadfast basis. And so we utilized our financial services products, which all ran on debit order systems. A debit order system that contracts individuals in to an income that they can have their entire life and potentially into the generations that come thereafter. Folks, we built the system around the circumstances of South Africans. Because we're not from China or Thailand or America or a prison in Russia, because we're not from there, these are actually where other networks have come from. One of them actually came from a prison in Russia. Nonetheless, because we're here in South Africa, we actually know your circumstances. Firstly, we know you're too busy. That's the reason why you told people you wouldn't come here tonight. It's the reason you said you didn't want to watch this presentation. I'm too busy. I don't have time for this. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. As being people who are too busy, that marks you as South African citizens. If you had time, we would call you a foreigner. In South Africa, nobody has time. What we do have time for as South Africans is wasting it on things that are making us poorer every year, like our traditional jobs. Your traditional job is making you poorer every year. It is, because you are not getting increases that are greater than inflation. The economists have been writing about this for a year now. They are telling us that we are getting poorer every year. I don't have to say it. Google will tell it to you. Go and Google, and the economists will show you. Folks, we've got time for that. Lots of time. We spend 40, 60, 80, 100 hours a week of our time on the job that makes us poorer every year. But when someone comes along and says, I have a tool that it can actually create forward-moving wealth for you, you go, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. Well, we understood that. We did. We understood that that was the mindset of the average South African. So we built a system that catered for that. We built a system that allowed you the ability to leverage others in the creation of your income, so that when you were too busy, they would be building your wealth for you. The system that would allow, through all the technology that we have, for you to create wealth 24 hours a day, even as you slept. A system where you could instantaneously connect South Africans to us without having to carry packets of groceries around, cars full of paper application forms, and have to worry about delivery and production and the state of the product you're giving them. Perfect delivery, instantaneously, every time, was what we put in your hands in our system. And we said you can use the system at no cost. Why? Because everything in South Africa has cost you money up until now. Every presentation you've gone to. One of the ladies that I was talking to before this in the training that I was doing said she spoke to someone around DuePoint. And he said, yes, I was involved in something like this, but I had to pay 5,000 Rand. And so he said, well, that's fantastic. You can get involved with DuePoint at no cost. He went, I need to go think about it. So I ask you, he didn't have to think about dropping 5,000 Rand in, but because we said you can use the system for free, he needed to think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that we are not going to create wealth by taking money from South Africans. If we're going to be part of the economic solution, we have to allow the use of our system for no cost. Our auditoriums, our buildings, our people, our technology, our software, our training, it's all at no cost to you. By simply being a product owner at DuePoint, you get free access to everything that we have created here at DuePoint. And you are now in the position, and have the ability to create wealth for yourself. Not cash in transit, wealth, money that's there every month on a reliable basis. In addition, we're not going to have you selling anything. We contract you out of selling. Gone are those days. And that's difficult for some South Africans. They go, no, I need to sell something. Maybe it's part of their central worth. But we say to you, you don't have to sell. So if you said to your friends tonight, no, I'm not a salesperson. Perfect. You're perfect for DuePoint. And if you did say, I'm a salesperson, you're perfect for DuePoint. Our system is perfect for every South African. It's been designed for every personality in South Africa. You're not selling anything. You're not marketing. You're not advisors or intermediaries or brokers or agents. You're none of these things at DuePoint. You just have to connect people to us. And as a result, everybody in South Africa has the ability to build themselves a proper asset. A proper asset is something that pays you even when you can't work on it. A proper asset is something that's there every month. A proper asset is something that you can price and sell, which is what you can do in our system. And in addition, this channel that you build, this team, and this income that you produce in your lifetime, when you pass away one day, it will be handed automatically over to your children, and they will earn the income and have the asset that you built during your lifetime. Again, one of the things in South Africa we just don't do is we just don't hand wealth over to our children. We don't. No one can argue this with me. What do we leave behind for our children? Debt, usually. A minus balance that they have to pay for. Sometimes we even make them pay for our funerals because we haven't prepared for that either. Folks, we do not leave wealth behind. At DuePoint, this team, this channel, this income you create is a wealth you will leave behind to your children. They can pick it up and grow it even further during their lifetime and then hand it over to your grandchildren. What we have built at DuePoint is an intergenerational wealth creation tool. Not a here today, gone tomorrow, flew in from China through the Durban Harbor exercise. A 70-year-old insurance company that is determined to be part of the economic solution in South Africa. That's what we created. And we built it in a way that fits every South African circumstance. Every one of them. It's absolutely convenient. With our technology, you never have to come to our offices. You never have to go to any office. People say to me, Brendan, we need an office in here, and we need an office in here. And I go, no, you don't. I'll put my office in your phone right here. And anywhere, any time of the day, anywhere in the nation, any day of the year, you can be connecting South Africans to us. You are now totally free to create wealth, no matter your circumstances, no matter your time constraints. You are now able to create wealth at DuePoint. All you have to do is click your phone 3 times and connect South Africans to us. As you connect them to us, our technology allocates them to you, and your platform of distribution begins. Your channel is born. These individuals are not going to sit through presentations like this and do nothing. They too are going to go out and connect people with our technology, and your channel will grow, and your platform of distribution will expand across South Africa. And then we, as the insurance company, come along and do the work. We come along and we facilitate the purchase of our products across this platform that you have created, and your wealth is born. We then distribute this wealth to you in 2 ways. Firstly, through our returns program. Our returns program will pay you R27.50 for every product payment in your channel every month that it's paid, multiplied by a factor of where in your channel that payment was made. Super simple. You're going to go out, you're going to chat to some friends. They're going to become wealth engineers, pay for their product, and you're going to get R27.50 multiplied by 200%, 55 Rand. Not once, not like the pot you sold that got you 450 Rand. No, every month going forward, 55 Rand. This is the power of what we call recurring annuity income. It doesn't matter how much money you get in a single moment for a transaction. It will never match the power of 55 Rand every single month going forward. It will always outdo that. In addition, 55 Rand coming in every month is a circumstance-changing wealth. Not 450 Rand once that is spent before the weekend. But when you know you have an income that comes in reliably every single month, now you can start budgeting. You can start changing your personal economic position. You can start planning because you know the income comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, as these individuals go out and connect people, more people become wealth engineers again, and you get R27.50 multiplied by 200% every time they pay a product. If they take 2 products, you get 110 Rand. If they take 3 products, you get 165 Rand. If they take 4, 220 Rand, and so on and so on and so on. You are in control, and you don't have to run back to them every month to beg them to buy again. Our system automatically raises it. Now, one of the things that people are afraid of are debit orders. We've discovered this. People go, no, I don't want a debit order. Why? Because it makes me accountable. It means that every month I have to pay. But if you have to pay every month, does it not also mean that every month you have now created a wealth for yourself? What other debit order do you have right now that creates wealth for you? None. When I do the training on this on Saturday mornings, I say, Your DuePoint payment just became the most important payment you're ever going to make. More important than your rent, more important than your kids' education, more important than the food you eat. Why? Because it creates wealth that pays for all those things. We cannot be afraid of a debit order because we're afraid to be accountable. We need to understand that we have to take control again. And those that are in control should always be accountable. They not always are, but they should be, because they are the ones that create and control wealth. These individuals will continue to expand and grow your channel over time if you put the time and effort in. And you'll continue to earn. Our system has no limit. There is a reducing amount of earnings down to the 8th point, but from the 8th point on, you have unlimited potential in growing wealth for yourselves. From the 8th point on, no matter what point you're on, if there's a product payment, you'll get 4% of 27.50 Rand as long as you qualify to earn. Folks, we can even calculate the wealth you can expect to earn here because we've been around. We've been around long enough to know the mathematics. And so we know that if you put the two ingredients in for success at DuePoint, time and numbers, then we can calculate how much wealth you can make. I was writing an article this afternoon about what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. And I asked myself the question, how many South Africans are willing to put both ingredients in for success in anything? In anything. In anything, success is built on time and numbers. Most people are willing to put the numbers in. Almost no one is willing to put the time in. How do I know this? How many of you guys at the beginning of this year had New Year's resolutions that you're still doing right now? How many of you said, I'm going to hit the gym this year, I'm going to get myself sorted out, and you haven't missed a session since the beginning of this year? Not one. Even when you were sick, you went in. How many of you said, I'm going to learn to play a new instrument this year, and you haven't missed a lesson, and you haven't missed a practice? You see, there's only 0.5% of people in the world that are super wealthy. And what did we say about them? Oh, it's unfair. They manipulated the system to become wealthy. No, they didn't. They were just the 0.5% that were willing to put in time. Are we willing to put time in? If we put these two ingredients in, I can then tell you exactly what you can expect to earn at DuePoint. We're pretty accurate these days, and we've proven our accuracy over and over again. We use a very simple growth rate formula, but you can grow your channel at any speed you like. Our example is 3 + 2. Why? Because it fits into your circumstances. Doesn't matter how busy you are or how important you think you are, this fits into your circumstances. 3 + 2 says that in your first month with us, you're responsible for adding just 3 people. Just 3 people. You can fit that into a month. Can you tap your phone 9 times? Because if you can do that, you can connect 3 people to us in a month. Then every month thereafter, you're responsible for just adding 2 people to your channel. Just 2. 2 in a month. 1 every 15 days. Do you see how this is not like the other presentations you've been to? There they were saying you need to commit to 8 hours a week. I've been to those presentations. 30 people a month, blah, blah. No, we've said 2. Get 2 people in, but commit to the time. Can you put in 2 people every single month? Because if you do, and we apply all of our mathematics to it, we know that after 6 months of you doing just 2 people a month, you can reasonably expect to be on about 2,500 Rand a month. That's 30,000 Rand a year. 30,000 Rand a year that you created, that's in your control, that no one can retrench you from, that no one can fire you from. That it didn't take you 6 days, and it didn't take the first 6 people you spoke to. It took you 6 months of adding 2 people every month, committed to that task. Then if you did 6 more months, you did a year with us. 1 year, is that too much to ask? 1 year? If you can do 1 year with us, then that 2.5 becomes 9,000 to 10,000 Rand a month. We have seen it repeatedly at DuePoint. This is not a mathematical example. This is mathematics that's been proven by the number of examples that we've had here at DuePoint. We haven't been around for 5 minutes. We haven't been. We've seen it. And after a year of effort, little effort, 2 a month, 9,000 to 10,000 Rand is what you can expect to be earning. That's 120,000 Rand a year. 120,000 Rand a year. And you've already started to change your personal economics. If you can do it for 2 years, it'll rise to 27,000 to 30,000 Rand. 27,000 to 30,000 Rand a month. 360,000 Rand a year in 2 years. How many of you are willing to do 2 years? You just told me you're not doing your New Year's resolutions from 4 months ago. Can you put 2 years in? If you can, you are now in the top third of earners in the country, according to SARS. If you can do 3 years, that rises to 40,000 to 45,000 Rand a month. If you can do 4 years, it's up to 60,000 to 65,000 Rand a month. And if you can do half a decade with us, guys, that's 5 years, not 5 months, not 5 weeks, not, oh, I've spoken to 50 people. No, no, no. It's 5 years of connecting South Africans to us. 57 million people are waiting to be connected to DuePoint. If you can do it for 5 years, that 65 becomes 80 to 100,000 rand a month. It's not like we haven't done this already. We've done this already. Everything I tell you tonight has already happened. The question is whether you will allow it to happen to yourself. I often say this, at DuePoint there are no bottlenecks. We have innovated out every bottleneck in our process. You will find nothing that hampers you, only things that help you in creating wealth at DuePoint. But the only bottleneck we could not fix, the only bottleneck we could not innovate out of was you. You are the only thing that will stop you creating wealth at DuePoint. But you can also be the thing that allows you to succeed at DuePoint. At DuePoint, we put people on the stage every month who are using our tool to change their lives. We look for stories, people who are struggling. Sometimes we put people who are doing well up, but we like the people who are struggling. You know why? Because they're showing the perseverance of that ingredient, time. And it means that they ultimately will be the ones that succeed and everyone else calls lucky. But they would have put that ingredient of time in. And so this last month, we had Lekotla up. He's from the Free State, never been to these offices as far as I know. Never been here. And he sent up a video testimony of his time with us at DuePoint. He uses DuePoint on the side. He's very busy, just like all of you. He's got a job and a family and responsibilities. And so he builds DuePoint on the side. And over the course of a year, we've paid him 13,000 Rand as hobby income. Hobby income. Wouldn't it be nice if your hobby earned you 13,000 Rand a year? He's not stopped. He'll tell you. He understands the ingredient of time. And so he's putting time on, and that 13 will become 130 in the next year or two that he gets from us. Then we put up Fred and Eugenie Val. They've been with us for 2 years, but in the last 2 years, it's been crisis. It's been crisis in their lives the last 2 years. Fred's had a heart attack and a stroke. He's now in a wheelchair. Eugenie, having to look after him, they're not young, was so under strain that she ended up in bed for 8 months. So in the 2 years, heart attack, stroke, and in bed for 8 months. And yet, they've been able to create an income of 30,000 Rand. What's it like when you're lying in hospital and you know that every month, just 3,000 Rand a month is coming in? You've lost your job, you've been retrenched, you can't work, but 3,000 Rand just comes in at the beginning of every month for you. How does that change? That changes circumstances. 450 Rand for a pot once off is not changing circumstances. 3,000 Rand a month, even when you're sick and you can't work, that's what wealth looks like. And that's what we create here. But we got the people that earn a lot more than that. You might say to yourself, no ways, I want 30, 40, 50, 100,000 Rand a month. No problem. Our system will create any amount of wealth for you. You just decide what you're going to put in to create it. Time and numbers, the two ingredients. We've got folk that you can go and see their stories of on our YouTube channel that are earning across the entire spectrum. You can go find them and hear their stories about what they did to create the wealth that they have over the years. And sometimes, more importantly than the Rand value, is the date of these testimonies. I mean, look at the date on this one. 2016. What do you think those numbers look like today? If you had had 3 years to do this, where would you be today? What if you were on 68,000 when you had 3 years still to go? And so on and so on. There is no time limit in wealth creation at DuePoint. Folks, the second way we create wealth for you is through our XP Rewards program. Our XP Rewards program is designed to train you to succeed as wealth engineers, as entrepreneurs, and in understanding what it takes to succeed. As you engage in this program and complete the training, we give you what's called XP points. They're experience points. Experience points accumulate, and as your channels grow, you meet the two criteria. We rank you up in the training program. When we rank you up, we reward you. We reward you with growing amounts of cash each rank, on top of the returns we've just been talking about. Then at rank 5, we start to give you tools. You get an imported lightning memory stick from the USA. Comes with everything you need on it to connect people to us. At rank 7, we give you a 20,000 Rand set of imported, custom-made business cards, gold gilded. Not gold print, gold gilding. I laughed. One of our wealth engineers said that he was so annoyed. He handed one of his cards, he's more than a rank, he's rank 9 now. He handed his business card to somebody, and that person immediately started scraping the gold off the side of the card. That's how desperate we've got as South Africans. That's how desperate. That we'll try and scrape off a few slithers of gold off the side of a business card. But what it does do is it makes people very, very interested in DuePoint, because there are no other gold-gilded business cards in South Africa today. Once you've seen a card from 20,000 Rand set, you'll know people want to connect to DuePoint. You can have a look in our glass cabinet or find a rank 7 and above, and they'll be able to show you what a 20,000 Rand card looks like. Then at rank 9, for those of you who are going to persevere over time, you're going to put that ingredient in of time. If you're able to do that over time and add the numbers, then you'll get to rank 9. And when you get to rank 9, we will take you and your family away on a 1-week trip, 5-star business class, all expenses paid every year for the rest of your life. Not once, not re-qualifying every year. No, once you rank 9, as long as you maintain your channel size with us every year from that year forward, you go away with us. None of these are promises that have not been delivered on. Everything I tell you tonight, we have already done. We have been away with our rank 9s year after year. We're going away at the end of this year. Every year there's new faces with us. The question is, who's coming with us? The wonderful thing of having delivered on promises is that you can show the real promises being delivered. I don't have to give you fake pictures from the internet. I always love those WhatsApp images that I get and the Facebook pages where the new thing has come in. The new thing. And it's normally black with gold around it, and it's got boats and cars and cash falling from the top and all of that in it. And it says, come and join us on this new thing and you'll get these things. But none of those have been delivered. None of them. They're just promises. They're hopes. At DuePoint, I don't have to show you any of that. At DuePoint, I can show you the real thing. Those of you who get to rank 9 will have holidays that look like this. Oh, can you picture yourself there? Can you picture yourself there? You know, it's one of those lovely ones. It's not like the ones I've seen. This is one where we don't say to you, you can't have this and you can't have that and you can't have the next thing. It's all inclusive. The minibar is included. Wouldn't that be nice? I remember when I was a kid, you were not allowed to touch the minibar, like it was death. If you yeah, the minibar was included. Drinks, food, transfers, flights up from other provinces to OR Tambo, all the things you don't get everywhere else. It's all included because we are not messing around here. This is not one of those things. This is the only wealth creation company that we know of in South Africa today for the average South African. Who is joining us at the end of this year? We've already booked the trips. Louis is on his way out there for site inspections next week. It's happening. We know where we're going. The rank 9s have already seen a sneak peek of the hotel that we're going to be staying at the end of this year. Who is coming with? There's 9 months left in this year. If you miss this year, it doesn't matter. We're going next year, as we've done all the years before. But who's coming this year? Who said this is the year? Very difficult task at DuePoint. You've got to sell expensive and difficult things. No! You just have to tap your phone and connect people to us. How badly do you want change in your life? At rank 11, I'll give you another useful tool. It's your own car. Again, it's a delivered promise. It's not a hope. This car is not financed through us or rented from us. It's not branded. It's in your name. It's your car. We don't take it away from you because it is a tool you will use to build wealth. And we have created it and structured it for every South African. Folks, to create this wealth, we use 4 products. Our first product is our Access Wealth Plan. It starts at, well, it is 324 Rand a month. For that, you get 2 independent products, your very own tax-free investment account, and 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. We take 100 Rand of the 324 every month, and we put it into your investment account so that you are creating an asset before you've connected your first person. Our second product is our Wealth Guard product. It's 249 Rand a month. For that, you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover with no maximum age limits, no medical examinations or declarations, and no waiting periods. Every South African can be a wealth engineer. It doesn't matter their circumstance. Our third product is our Family Wealth Funeral Plan. Starts at 299 a month. You can pick 20,000 or 30,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. And the principal member gets 10,000 Rands worth of outstanding debt cover, so that when they pass away, we settle 10,000 Rands worth of their debt so that their family don't have to. Our fourth product is our Wealth Points Buyers Club. It's designed to give you access to our suppliers. For 299 Rand a month, you are a member, and you can use all of our suppliers to get discounted prices, vouchers, packages, VIP services, all sorts of things you couldn't get as an individual. We're constantly adding suppliers to the list, so your benefit actually just keeps growing without us ever changing the price. I was thinking about that the other day. We keep adding suppliers to this product without ever changing the price. It's the best product on earth. You pay the same amount and you have growing benefit just about every month here at DuePoint. All of these products have got review videos and training videos, all of them, that you can watch, so that you can fully understand the product even if you battle to read. All in video, on our website, on YouTube. Go and make sure you know how to maximize your benefit on every one of these products before you've even started creating wealth with us here at DuePoint. Folks, in 2019, we are laying the gauntlet down. We are challenging South Africans to change their circumstances in 12 months. We're saying, we know we don't have the self-discipline to keep up a habit. Let's change that fact. Let's change that fact in 2019. And for those of you who are sick and tired of your circumstances, then in the next 365 days, connect 365 people to us. 365 out of 57 million people. If you're one of those people that say, I don't know a lot of people, I encourage you, just walk out the door. You'll find 57 million people waiting for you outside. If you can connect 365 people to us in 1 year, your year starting the moment you become a wealth engineer. You're not prejudiced in any way at DuePoint. The moment you become a wealth engineer, you've got 365 days. If you can do that, then after that time, we will pay you a check of 365,000 Rand. In addition, we know how your channel will have grown. You certainly wouldn't have been able to connect 365 people to us and not have people go out and do the same. We know what the math says. We know how these channels grow. And therefore, we know that your channel will have got beyond rank 9, which means that in the next 365 days, you are coming with us on a rank 9 trip, potentially for the rest of your life. We know that your channel will have gone beyond rank 11. If it's beyond rank 11, then you get your, perhaps for the first time in your life, your very own brand new car. This is all going to happen in the next 365 days. But more importantly, we're in the business of wealth creation. And what does that mean? Well, this channel that you will have built, that is beyond rank 11, will be earning you, we estimate, somewhere between 40 and 50,000 Rand a month. This is something you will have built under your own control that no one can take away. And you would have done it in 365 days, and you'd be earning 500,000 to 600,000 Rand a year. Or you can go back to your jobs tomorrow and say goodbye to DuePoint and continue on a poverty decline. Because that's what's happening. That's a factual statement. It is what is happening in our economy. 365 days from now, everything could be different. And this, like every one of our other promises, is a delivered promise. Who will be next to conquer 365? Who's going to do it? Folks, to help you along the way, every month we run Wealth Quests. Wealth Quests are there to help you tick the months off on your 365 challenge. This month, it's our Young Guns Challenge. And we've said, simple challenge. Go out, find 2 people under the age of 30 and get them into DuePoint. If you can get them in and then get them to find 3 people each, which means get them qualified. Those 3 can be any age. Okay? 2 under 30 who find 3 each. That's 8 people. And you get them all in and all paid before the end of this month. You can then choose between a 5,000 Rand additional reward or your very own brand new Apple iPhone. Sometimes people go, I can't believe it. It can't be that simple. Folks, it's that simple. Find 2 people under the age of 30 and get them qualified and paid by the end of the month. And you can have a 5,000 Rand bonus start to your time here at DuePoint by the middle of next month, or a brand new Apple iPhone. And you'll have ticked off 1 month in your 365 challenge. Folks, if you want to become a wealth engineer today, super simple. You're going to go to our website, dewpoint.net. You're going to read, watch the videos, whatever it is. And then, if you're ready to commit, don't do it if you're not ready to commit. If you're ready to commit to a life-changing wealth-building exercise, then fill out the application form. Don't do it because you feel sorry for your friend. Your friend will far prefer it if you say, no thanks, this is not for me. I don't understand how you'd come to that conclusion, but if you do, then don't fill the form out to make your friend feel good. Fill the form out if you're ready to build wealth. Permanent, intergenerational, life-changing wealth. If you're ready to do that, less than 3 minutes and you'll be a wealth engineer tonight. Not a single cent will have passed from your wallets. So I always tease, I say, men, you don't have to go home and tell your spouse first. You don't have to discuss it. You are not committing to anything that you'll get in trouble for this evening. All right? Tonight, in less than 3 minutes, you can have a tool in your hands that you can start creating wealth before you go to bed tonight with. The person who brought you here will help you download our app and demonstrate to you how 3 clicks will get people connected to DuePoint. And you can do that from the moment you've completed that application form. Folks, if you need to do more research, go and do it. We are a public company. None of the things you've ever been involved in before are public companies. You can go to the JSE, look us up under Conduit Capital. You can go to the Constantia's website and see our financial statements, see how much the directors earn, see what our BEE status is. It's all there. You can go to the FSCA's website, see our life and short-term licenses, and see all of our financial service provider licenses. There's no less than 8 regulators that look after this business, that come and do on-site reviews, that make sure that what we are doing is legitimately the only economic solution for South Africans today. Folks, this Saturday is an important Saturday. 10 o'clock, we're going to be broadcasting live out of this room again, and we are launching 4 new suppliers in our Wealth Points Buyers Club. 4 at once on Saturday morning. Our Wealth Point program, which you saw was our 4th product, just got 4 more benefits without an increase in its price. And it's happening this Saturday. Make sure you tune in around the country to see what they are, and make sure you're here if you're in Gauteng. If you want to feel the energy and the vibrancy of this business on a Saturday morning, be here. No excuses. 10 o'clock, we'll be live with those. In addition, Tuesday next week is Tell All Tuesday. If you can believe it, we're going to have another testimony evening next week, Tuesday night, with people who are doing an incredible job in building wealth for themselves at DuePoint. You cannot afford to miss this evening. Wealth engineers, you know it. Get your channels here and your guests here. It's the perfect evening for guests. No excuses. I threaten, I'll come and fetch you myself if I find that you are not here on Tuesday night. No excuse. Nothing else is as important as changing your economic circumstances, and therefore nothing else is as important as being here or being tuned in live. And the only people who are allowed to tune in live are people outside Gauteng. Everybody else has to be here on Tuesday night next week at 6:30. Otherwise, we come to fetch you. Folks, this is a nationwide business. On the 11th of May, we're going to the Eastern Cape. We've already been to KZN this year. It's Eastern Cape next, and then we're moving on. On the 11th of May, we're in Port Elizabeth. The whole of Eastern Cape should be there. And everybody outside of the Eastern Cape should be there as an opportunity to build wealth across our country. Make sure your tickets are booked. You go to events in our app or on our website. Go there now. Go now there. And book your tickets and your guests' tickets. They're free. But make sure we have a seat allocated for you because we need to know how big the venue needs to be. So make sure that's done now. Don't wait until the 11th of May. Get it done now and start booking your transport and accommodation. The 11th of May is exactly 1 month today. It's exactly 1 month. Make sure you've got your plans in place. It's going to be huge on that day. I think, ladies and gentlemen, that you can see how serious we are. We're not mucking around here. We don't have dancing girls and fireworks and Americans talking on the stage and all of that nonsense. No, we're real. We're real. I don't have to show off. What we have to do is bring to the attention of South Africans the crisis we are in. And we have built the only tool that we know of in South Africa that can avert that crisis. And we want you to join us. We want you to be with us. Pick the tool up tonight and start now before the time runs out. Building wealth with us in South Africa. If you've got questions and concerns, either call our client service team Monday to Friday between 8 and 5 p.m. or come and chat to me outside. We'll be live again tomorrow at 12:15 and it's on Saturday at 10 a.m. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you all outside. Thank you.